Alright, g'day YouTube, welcome back to my channel. I have something special for you today. This is a very large, looks very confusing, but it's a very large squamata, Juniper squamata. And you can probably see in the background there's this pot here with shimpaku foliage, or shimpaku growing. Now this tree, when I first got it many years ago, it was quite a large tree already, but had a lot of it was a sick tree, so I had to get it back healthy. Now what has happened is it's got now two nice live veins, lots of huge amount of dead wood, live veins, two live veins that go all the way up the trunk, and has a huge amount of foliage of Juniper squamata. It's not the nicest foliage at all, it's pretty ugly foliage, for me anyway. You see how it gets all this dye back in it, it gets all brown and so on. It's got some foliage right on the ends here, and a bit at the back. So I've just been trying to get this tree ready because I've always planned to try and graft shimpaku onto it. Now this is what I'm going to try and do today. I am going to use one stock plant that I've been growing and got really strong, and you notice how they've got very strong long outgrowths. Most people use just small little cuttings that grow in one and just plant them on. I'm going to try and use a more stock plant, one plant with lots of nice long growth. They've all got the tips still at the end, the apical tip. So I'm hoping this will work. I'm not the most confident grafter. I've just really started, but looking at how to do it and so on, and I'm trying to do it on maples, etc. I'm going to try and do it onto this shimpaku, onto this juniper. If this takes, you can imagine how good this tree would be if it has shimpaku foliage. So I'll come and show you a close-up now of where I have marked where I'm going to try and graft some of these branches. You can see here, I've got grafting tape ready, I've got black tape ready, I've got wire ready, I've got the wire cutters. The most important probably is the grafting, or a very sharp knife, just to show you some of the things we need. But I've done some prep work on this. I tried to make the pot stabilize so the tree doesn't move, or that doesn't move and that doesn't move. I've tried to select which branches I'm going to graft. I've actually marked on the trunk where I'm going to try and put the grafts as well. I've got my carving drill ready to carve out the bits that I need to do. So I'm just trying to plan. So really now it's planning out. So I've planned out where I'm going to do it. Now I've just got to prepare these grafting scions, and not scions, but the graft branches, to make sure they go into the right spot. So I'll come and show you a close-up and you'll see what I'm talking about. So as I just mentioned, subscribe if you haven't to the channel so you can get notifications of new videos, and click the little bell icon so you can always be updated. Okay, so I'll come in and I'll show you the first foliage. That's the Juniper squamata foliage. You know how you notice the ends are nice and green, but it starts to do that yucky dieback and it looks terrible. And then you can see shimpaku foliage. So I'll just show you can see the two nice live veins. There's one vein here and one vein here, all the way up the trunk. Beautiful, lots of nice dead wood all the way up. So I want to try and get a graft happening downwards this way. I want to try and get a graft going upwards this way. Trying to get one onto this lower end so I can put it down this way. And I've got one up here, up this way. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 on just this section I'm going to try. And then on this main top trunk I'm going to try one there going down and then one there going up. Oh, it's a bit blurry, but hang on. So I hope that makes sense. One going up that way and this one going down, just to see if I can get something happening there. So we're going to try a few things because that's way too tall. I could put grafts up there, but I think it's going to be too tall if it's that high. I want a smaller, squatter tree. So you see what I mean? So I'm trying to attempt to do 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 at the moment, and then we'll see how the plan goes. So I'll be trying to drill into that and then place the foliage. Which one was I was trying to select which one. You place the foliage into that area, place the branches there after I've got to trim that all back and then place it. So it's nice healthy growth at the end. Hopefully that just takes off. It's a nice time of year to do it now. It should start to really heat up in Melbourne here, and that's the plan. So I'm going to get stuck into it. You probably won't see much, and I'll come back and check in and show you where I'm up to, but that's the plan. So you can see this tree, lots of deadwood. You can see the nice live veins here, just see them. But really it's a matter of getting rid of this foliage. It really is ugly and it ruins the tree. I mean, that's my opinion. So I want to eventually replace all that foliage. So if I can get 6 grafts on here today, maybe 7th, if we can find a spot, maybe something down here. Maybe if I can get another one down here somewhere, possibly. Yeah, that's nice and live there. Maybe I can get one more down here somehow. Yeah, I'll see what it looks out to be. And hopefully the grafts take. And that means I can replace the foliage on this beautiful, beautiful piece of material. Lots of deadwood. You can just imagine the potential. Alright, I'll check back in a minute. Alright, so I'll try and do this one first. Now this is the branch I have prepared. Now you can see, oops, where is he? So you can see I've stripped it all back. I've actually marked out, where is it? Oh, maybe you can see that black. Oh, marked out where I'm going to cut away the cambium on the underside. On the underside, I'll show you what I mean by that. That's the bit I'm going to put it on. That's the bit I'm going to put down. I'm going to pretty much put that down into here and position it like that. Tie that in, graft it in, and tape it in, and hopefully that will just nicely take and let the tree go. All right, let's try see how it goes. So I've made a little crevice for it. I've shaved back the area on the grafting branch, and then I'm going to place it in and complete that process, and I'll wire it in, and I'll show you the step by step when I get to it. But I've just learnt this from Bjorn's intermediate course, I think, on Bonsai Empire. So that's where I learnt this technique, because I haven't really seen it properly done anywhere else. And he has very similar shimpaku kind of tree and the way he grafts. So that's where I've learnt this. If you wonder where I got it from, so I'll be back with more updates. Okay, so I'll just show you where I'm at. So what I did is I've placed the branch into the crevice. You can see grafting tape all the way around it. That's nicely pressed in, and I'm pretty confident the cambium layers are aligned. So that's the most important thing, the 2 cambiums aligned. I put this little wire on initially just to hold it in place, but I can remove that now. So I can just remove this bit of wire. I moved a little bit, so what we'll have to do is redo that after we finished placing everything back on. Like, we're going to put more grafting tape around it, and then I'll tape it all up, and then I'll put some more wire just to hold everything down in place so it doesn't move. So these are things you experience. So I think that's nice and into that gap, not a problem. So let's see how we develop. So you can see the nice healthy tip. I just want that to grow, and hopefully that will happen. Let me just finish this off now. Yeah, it's quite an interesting process. You get quite you want to work fast, but you want to work carefully. So just bear on the side of work slowly just to get it right. So I'll be back in a minute. Alright, so that is pretty much the finished product. You can see I've taped it all with black, keep it nice and secure. That's pretty solid, nice, just the tape's moving. But I put a bit of wire over the top there, not too hard, just to keep it all intact, and one down here just to keep the bottom one intact. That moves obviously because it's the branch, but let's just hopefully this keeps growing and gets nice and big and fat and strong and can take off. So the other thing I'll do is I'll thin out the main tree anyway, the actual shimpaku tree, just to let it focus on these extended bits, so let it all grow strongly. That's one done. I'll go, how many more? 5 more to do. It's actually quite a time consuming process. So yeah, probably this weekend, unfortunately, probably this is the only video I'll get done. So might not have as many videos coming up in the future until pine season, or when we do our pine decandling. But let me just go through this tree and I'll show you how the tree ends up at the end of the day. Okay. Alright, just a quick update. There's the second one done. This actually took a lot less time, mainly because it was in an easy location, and I can wrap around it pretty easily. This was a bit more awkward situation, an awkward angle, so that's hard to do. So there's one, that's 1, 2. Now I'm going to get this guy and put him into this area, and then I have to just be careful with this one because there's one just in there that I want to put in. So we'll see. I want to eventually get that going upwards out of the way, and then one in through here, and then one in through here. So there we go, and I might eventually put one down in there, but then I'll do the two top ones. So a bit of work to do, but that was much faster, much easier to do. So cleaning out each branch as I'm doing them, so you can see that's all cleaned out. Oh, left a little bit there. I don't want any foliage here because I want all the energy of that branch to go into the tip. That's why I'm removing all of it. So yep, let's go next. So it's pretty tiring work, but number 3 is done. There you go. So far so good. Haven't broken anything, haven't snapped anything, so far so good. Lots of foliage in the way, but you can see the nice healthy growth there. Maybe the one thing I should have learned is start, because what's happened is I've done this one first, but this one was it was hard to get the tape and grafting tape around here because of this guy, and it was knocking him a bit too much. So that's probably a learning, is maybe organize my grafting in a proper way. Think about where should I start first. I probably should have started here, then worked to here, and then did this one. But I've done the other way around and went right to left, not thinking about that. So that's a lesson to learn. Just plan out which graft to put on first so you don't knock the other ones around. But yeah, going so far so good. Let's hope these all work. That's my main concern here and main aim here. So we'll see how much more I can put on here. I've noticed a nice branch in here. Maybe I can get a graft in there, along there as well. Create another branch in here. Never know. We'll see how we go today and how many we get done. Alright, number 4 is complete. It's actually very tiring work. I think it's more stressful rather than tiring. It's just, you're doing something very, very precise and you really want to make sure you get it right. So that's 4 done. Yes, that was actually quite easy because it's easy to get around. When you can get around the trunk, it's pretty easy. I think if I'm going to put one down here, it's going to be really hard to get around, so I might leave that alone because I think this will do the job it needs to if that survives. So let's leave that one. I'm going to work on the 2 up there. I'm going to get one to come down, hopefully, and the other one to go up, and we'll see what we can try and work. There's lots of nice, that's a very strong trunk and strong healthy cambium there, so it shouldn't be too bad. I think we'll have some good success. So we'll see how that goes, and then I'll contemplate putting some more if I need to. So we'll see how we go. Okay, so what I did for my 5th graft up there, I actually changed my mind, and I didn't go with the one. I usually had one up straight along this one and one going down this way. What I decided to do is do a diagonally, slightly diagonally one with just this one. Now I was just thinking, just this guy. So I want this to be ultimately my apex, and you'd want that to be bent down and made a bit of a crown. So that was my thinking, have it at that angle so that I can come back in and fill in a crown in here over time. So I've changed my mind and I've put that more on an angle at that way, and hopefully that works and we'll be all good. So create a new apex from that. I've just put some wires just to keep it tight. I'm just going to go check all of them again, just make sure they're all good and all pretty tight. I am going to see if I can try and graft one on here. You can see this long, ugly branch. I would love one right in here, and you can have this as a gin. If I can get a nice short branch in here, that'd be good. But most of the tree is going to sit in amongst around all this deadwood, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, probably issue is there's only one branch over here. I would have liked to maybe create one in here somewhere, helping that as well, but I just ran out of room. I reckon that's going to be another time. If this all works, then try and create another one over time to get that all happening. So that's progress so far. I'm going to see if I can try and get that one in there, and then I'll see if I can put any more in. Okay everyone, so I did actually put one more graft into that spot, and I did look to have if I could do any more, but the branches weren't long enough or big enough to try and graft anything else. I really want to get one in here, and I believe one of these guys will eventually get into that spot and I can do one, but they're not ready yet. So I'm going to just give these guys, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I did end up doing 6 approach grafts on this tree, shimpaku. So you can see one in here, one in there, one in here, that one at the back there. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh yeah, there's one down here as well. that will hopefully fill in the back area and the main trunk here. So there are some other branches, but I just couldn't get them around far enough to graft on, so let's take this as the first step. Let's see if this works. I really hope it does. Hope these grafts take. Pretty much what I'm going to do now is leave this tree alone. I've made sure I've secured that pot. You can see all the wire on it. It's secured in place so it won't move. That tree won't move from its spot in the garden. You see the massive foliage of squamata, Juniper on the top. I don't think I will trim anything at all on that side, because what that does is the tree still grows and the trunk will expand, and with the shimpaku juniper growing and expanding and the bigger tree growing and expanding, hopefully they'll fuse the grafts quicker. So that's my thinking, and I hope that comes to fruition. Now with the summer coming, you can see I've got sprinklers up here that will keep the trees nice and wet and moist and keep them nice and healthy. I might give this tree a bit of shade cloth as well, just because keeps the grafts shaded as well. That's one of the tips that Bjorn gives in his videos. So this is the start. So let's see if these grafts work. Well, that's all I can do right now. Try and protect the grafts, see if they work. In the future, let's come back, and if they do work, fantastic. But I've waited a long time to get this tree right, get the stock right, reduce the tree down, find the live veins, really work slowly on this tree. Now it is going to be, if this grafts works, so these grafts work, you can just see what kind of material or what kind of tree it end up being. It'll be pretty awesome. I reckon if all the grafts take, add a few more grafts, let the shimpaku grow out, get stronger. You know, I'll say 5 years time, that's not very long, but 5 years time might be long for some, but I don't mind waiting 5 years for this tree. It should be quite spectacular. So that's the thinking, that's the plans. Hope you guys can see that tree and the potential. You can see the live veins there, look really nice. I'll clean them up once. There's no point working on this right now, this tree, but you know, give it time, and this tree, start to work with the dead wood down, find out where all the live veins, and hopefully the shimpaku grafts well, and then we can take that all off at the top. You know, there's lots of potential here in a tree, but let's first things first, let's hope those grafts work, and we'll keep it going. So yeah, some of the tips I think are: be prepared, always have your tools ready, or have all your instruments ready, grafting tape, plastic tape, that wire, electrician tape I call it, the black one. Have wire ready, have nice sharp grafting knife ready, have your power tool ready to drill out the trunk, and then just work as fast as you can, but be efficient. I think also one of the lessons I learned, I should have started on this side and worked my way that way, just because I started to knock into some of the grafts when I was working, so that was one of a slight little mistake. But other than that, I planned out where I was going to put my grafts. I drew on a black texture, I used the black texture, drew out where I was going to do them. The only one I changed was this one, because I thought it made more sense to have one trunk that's going to come back this way. So rather than having one up that way, one down, I thought that's problematic in itself, trying to get the grafts on. But yeah, and I added in this extra one down here, so that was a bit of a bonus. So pretty much I'm going to leave this tree alone now, and wish for the best, give it as much chance as it can to recover, and that's it. So hope you guys enjoyed that project tree. This is definitely a project tree you'll see time and time again. It's probably one of my bigger trees in the collection. Yeah, close to the biggest. There's only one other one that's probably a decent size compared to that, and you haven't seen that tree yet, and I'll show you in the future. But now that I'm starting to graft, I might graft my other juniper that I worked on not long ago. It also has ugly foliage, but it's a great trunk, but a much smaller tree, so I might get stuck into that one now. But again, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you enjoyed the potential of what this tree could be. And you know what, if you're not happy with the foliage, you can change it. That's my plan. I really don't like this foliage. You can see the tree, it looks terrible with that foliage, that's my opinion. And the foliage is really far away from the main features of the trunk, so it really needed to be grafted with foliage closer to the trunk and enhancing the trunk. So, and shimpaku foliage is the best, so that's what I did. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed another video. Subscribe if you haven't to the channel, and I'll see you guys soon.